What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to show you guys a scheme that I've been using a lot recently out of the Bill Walsh playbook. Now, I know you can't set your audibles for Legendary Coach playbooks, and it's a pain in the ass, but I really like this scheme a lot, and for me at least, it's worth having to pause once or twice to set up your audibles before each game. So after I started using this scheme with great success for a while, I handed it over to a couple average players that I know to let them try it out, and I gotta be honest, they didn't really fare too well. So before I get started, I want to sort of put out a disclaimer on this one. This scheme is really for the guys who are really good at mixing up their plays and playing mind games with their opponent. After some discussions with the players that I showed this to, I kind of realized that it was working so well for me simply because I was getting into my opponent's head. I'm honestly not some amazing player. I do think that I have incredible stick skill, but beyond that, since I started playing Madden, half the reason I've even done well is literally just by outthinking my opponent and getting into their head a little bit better than they're being able to get into mine. So this scheme isn't about money plays, it's about moving the chains, with the occasional big play. It's about reading the defense and baiting your opponent. If that's a strong suit for your playstyle, you'll have a lot of fun and success using this scheme. If it's not really your style, you can still try it out, but unlike most things that I've put out, I really can't promise that this is going to be great for you. Now, the only reason I'm putting it out is because I didn't want to waste this scheme, and also because I really do have a lot of fun running this, even though it does kind of go against what I'm really about tips-wise. Now, stay tuned for my next tip video, and you're going to understand what I'm talking about when I say that it does kind of go against what I'm really about tips-wise. So, let's get started. So first things first, this entire Bill Walsh playbook is under center. There is not one single shotgun play in the entire playbook. So the one thing that you're really going to need to look out for, especially against good players, are DT blitzes. As you can see right there, we're under center, we drop back, and the DT comes screaming through, and we literally have no chance to pass the ball. So what I want you to do is come out in your normal offense, just like normal, and continue to play until you get sacked the first time by a DT blitz. As soon as that happens, I want you to start slide protecting the rest of the game. Now you can slide protect left or right, that does work, but against DT blitzes, I actually like to slide protect up or down. I just find it far more effective. Also, what I want you to do is block a running back. As you can see here, it looks like the blitz is coming from the left, so we slide protect down and block the halfback on the left. And as you can see, there wasn't a single defensive lineman that even made any type of threat against our quarterback. Our running back made a block on the left side, and because it's Lawrence Taylor, of course he does come through. There will be linebackers, and there will be plays, of course, where they will make that type of play on our running back. But the whole idea here is as soon as you get sacked by a DT blitz once, you're going to want to start to slide protect and block your running back. The next thing I want to talk about before we get to the plays involved in the scheme is extremely important. Running an all under center scheme, our opponents are going to try to stack the line and try to stop what it is that we're doing. And this is honestly the biggest mistake that they can make. Now we do want to run our scheme with our set of audibles and such and continue to beat them underneath. That is our plan, and it's what we're setting out to do. But if they show blitz and leave our wide receivers in one-on-one coverage, all we're going to do is pass lead fade them to death until they play two safeties deep. Now I could literally show 100 times, if not more, that I've pass led fade routes when my opponents were showing blitz, but I'm not going to show that many examples just to try to express one point. Now if you're wondering how to pass lead one-step fade routes, check out our other video on this channel called Beating Press Coverage. Pass leading fades is honestly my favorite thing to do this year for any scheme or for any play. It's pretty rare that I won't have at least one fade route on any given play. Sometimes I'll even have 3 or 4 fade routes, as you'll see throughout this clip of plays. So you'll need to do a good job making reads and moving the chains underneath, as I suggested just a couple minutes ago, and once you do, it's just going to open up a whole part of your offense that your opponent doesn't want to see, which is being pass led to death, touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. Now right there, that play is one of my favorites. You haven't seen it yet, but our opponent in overtime tries to manually stop our best play that we've run on him all game, only to be torched by a touchdown on a pass lead. So now I'm going to do the best that I can to try to explain this scheme play by play. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, this isn't about money plays. You're not going to find any money plays here. It's all about, this is a really simple scheme, nothing fancy. It's just about making the right reads, moving the chains. Okay? Get in your opponent's head, move the chains. So everything starts with the formation red right. Now we're essentially going to run mostly 2 plays out of this. Our only audible that we're going to have, which is our first audible, halfback slip screen. The other play that we're going to use is halfback draw. Now if you followed me last year, you're going to know that I said halfback draw out of split slot was the best run play in the entire game other than strong close counter weak. This year, it's really good again. Red right is essentially split slot. So it's really good again this year. I'm not going to show you how to run it in practice mode. It'd be completely pointless. The only tip that I'm going to give you is be patient. When you snap the ball, don't hold turbo. Make sure that your blockers have a chance to make their blocks. Holding turbo, the only thing that's going to do is really it's going to hurry up the process of you getting tackled. You're either going to run into your own player and get tackled quicker, or you're going to run into a defender quicker. So just stay patient, lay off the turbo. As soon as you find your hole, that's when you want to hit turbo and head upfield. So, as I said, these are pretty much the only 2 plays that I'm going to cover, or not cover, but these are the 2 plays that I'm going to use at the beginning of this game until my opponent starts to catch on. As soon as he starts to catch on, then I'll show you what I'm going to do in that case. Now, the only other thing that we need to worry about is what player we're going to put at this fullback position. Now, the Colts aren't really an ideal team for this. What I like to have is speed at this position. So a perfect team for this would be a team like the New England Patriots. You can have Gronk as the main tight end, and you can also have Aaron Hernandez in the backfield, catching passes, using his speed to get upfield on screen passes and things like that. And the reason we want a good player in this spot, like for instance, I have this halfback Alexander in there right now for the Colts. He's terrible. He's like a 37 overall. So the only time that I'm going to have him in there is when I know that I'm going to throw the screen pass, because he can catch a screen, head upfield, and there's not going to be any problems. But when I audible from red right and I go to single back east right, which is the other formation, the main formation that we're going to use, he's going to need to be catching the ball, and it just doesn't work. I've tried it before. You try throwing him the quick slant and things like that, and he just won't hang on to the ball. It'll just hit him and fall to the ground. So if you really want to get into the scheme and use it properly, using somebody like, for instance, the 49ers, you could keep Vernon Davis there and use the backup tight end. He's got some nice height. He's a tight end. He's got good speed to get upfield on the screen passes, and he's going to be able to catch passes as a tight end out of the formation. So just keep that in mind. A lot of the times, what I do is, just even without my opponent even knowing, I know he's not going to catch on to these kinds of things. But if I know that I'm going to audible immediately to the tight end heavy formation, then I'll make a couple adjustments. Maybe put Fleener in the backfield and put my other slower tight end up top. Things like that. But if I know that I'm just going to stay in this formation and I don't need to throw him as a tight end, then sometimes I'll just leave that speedy 37 overall halfback in the backfield. So let's take a look at the first play that we're going to look at, which is halfback slip screen. And this has honestly become my favorite screen in the entire game. We're going to run it the same way that we always do, but I love this screen. I love FL screen out of Ace Patriot. That's a great screen pass. But as I've been using this more and more, it really is my favorite screen. So we're going to set it up just like we did before. In past years, we were always using a drag route on RB to create more blocking. But this year, of course, as you've seen, I'm sure, many times from us in NCAA or other guys, we're going to put RB on a flat route to the left on the same side of the screen. Then what we're going to do, and the beauty of this play, is we're essentially just going to look at who is being user defended. And the thing I like about it is that I think it's just second nature for your opponent, when they see a screen pass, they're always going to be trying to cover the main target on a screen pass, which is Y. So you're going to see in the gameplay footage that I would say, I don't know, 80% of the time maybe, I'm actually hitting RB. And the reason for that is just because the focus is always on Y in actual games. In practice mode, it's a completely different story. It's completely bogus. I mean, they'll cover RB like they cover Y, but it just doesn't make sense in a game. So you're going to see that in gameplay. I'm going to be hitting RB a large majority of the time. Now, if they're not covering anybody, then I would definitely suggest hitting the wide receiver. So let's just take a look at this play. I'm going to snap it one time. And look, I just absolutely love this play. So let's take a look at the replay immediately. My favorite screen in the game, I think because it's under center and just the way that it develops. I don't know what it is, but it's crazy good in game. So as you can see here, I could hit RB as well. Look, we got RB in the flats right there. And essentially, maybe I'd even get more blocking upfield. But I really like as well this when we get outside blocking. So if we throw it to our halfback and the fullback continues to go upfield because of his flat route, I really like that blocking that we're going to get to the outside. See, he's actually the one that makes the block. So as you can see, we go all the way back here. Come on. Zoom in on him. If we don't put him on a flat route, who's going to make this block? I do see that there's another player, but it just so happens that he's the one that makes the block that springs us free for the touchdown. So again, let's do it. And I'm just going to take a look at the defenders and see who's the best target to hit. So we'll hit RB and still get in behind all that blocking. So we got 4 blockers that are going to head upfield. Now, as you saw in the video before when our opponent was showing blitz, I was always motion snapping this route right here. I was doing a fade route. I would motion, and then I would snap. I'm just not even going to throw the ball. I would motion, I would snap, he'd go upfield, and I would pass lead to the inside. So, when running the halfback draw, or when running any play out of this formation, you'll see in the gameplay footage I don't stay true to what I'm about to tell you. I don't always motion somebody, but that's what we want to do. If you can remember and you're not trying to quick snap your opponent, try to motion this receiver every single time just so that they think, oh, he might be throwing that pass lead fade to the inside, or he might be doing this, just to get him, make him hesitate just a little bit. So those are the first 2 plays out of the red formation. Now I'm going to continue to run these plays as long as my opponent's going to let me. As soon as I feel like I want to get inside my opponent's head a little bit, there's really not too much in this formation that's exciting. So the play that I really like to call is this play Texas, because I love to put the A route on a fade, and if the fade is covered deep, then I can hit RB out of the backfield. I can hit B on the little curl route. Even Y is not too bad. I can put him on a I can do all sorts of different things with these routes. You know, put them on wheel routes, put X on a slant, put X on a drag, whatever. So if I just find that my opponent's catching on just a little bit, Texas is the play that I go to. Put A on a fade, or even A and B on a fade. Run it. If they're being covered downfield, we like RB out of the backfield on the angle route. So I just took 8 minutes to explain to you the first part. I know you guys think, I talk a little too much, but I just want to make sure that I'm explaining as best I can, because not everyone's a pro. A lot of guys come to me and they love the fact that I explain things in and out, so that they can understand what it is I'm talking about. So those are the first set of plays, and now we're going to get to the main part of our scheme. Now we're going to take a look at the main formation of our scheme, which is single back east right. And the first play we're going to look at is tight end angle. I really like this play. The only problem is practice mode frustrates me so bad. I was going to run it against some random defenses in the game, but I was running it against man-to-man defense a lot. And the A route, that angle route, was getting open versus man defense like every time. And I assure you that in a game, that angle route does not beat man-to-man defense. I can't tell you how many times I was even in practice mode running that play, thinking that it beat man defense, and then I'd go in a game and I'd try to throw the route versus man, and I get picked off every time. So practice mode is just garbage. So all I'm going to do is kind of set up a little thing here where I'm going to show you how it works. So the first thing that we're going to do on this play is put X on a fade. So we're playing off coverage here. So let's just pretend like they're playing a regular 2-man under or something like that. Let's say that we're not getting bumped. If we're getting bumped, we would put B on a fade route and we'd motion him in one step, something like that. But if we don't feel like we're getting bumped, we're going to know throughout the game what our opponent's doing. We're just going to put X on a fade, and we're going to make our reads accordingly. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the B route. And as I'm looking at B, I'm going to see if there's a player that's dropping back, like say Revis or one of the middle linebackers or something like that. Are they dropping back? Is it zone coverage? How's the defender playing the B receiver? Is it man coverage? If it's man coverage, I'm clearly going to throw the curl route. If it's zone coverage, I'm going to hit A. A versus zone coverage is great because, as you know, zones drop back at the snap of the ball. So as A is kind of taking his angle, he's really taking an angle to the line of scrimmage and then going upfield. So we're going to hit A underneath versus zone, and versus man or zone, we're going to hit B, just doing a regular drag across the field. That's going to beat any kind of zone. It's going to beat any kind of blitzes. It's one of the best routes in the game. Then as our bailout option, we're going to use pass lead to X to the inside, no matter how far down the field he is. So let's snap the ball and see what we're facing here. So as we see, it's zone coverage, and we're able to hit the tight end underneath. So to me, this is an extremely easy read. All we're doing is, I'm not sure if you saw for NCAA, I talked about single back bunch, the play called Seattle. Literally, all you do, and this is great for even beginner players, is you just stare down your receiver. You look in the area of Reggie Wayne, our B target, and see what's going on. And that's just going to really tell you what it is that you're going to do. As we see, we have a defender playing Reggie Wayne. We just know automatically that that's zone coverage. So we're just going to hit the underneath. You don't really need to do anything else. It's pretty much, oh, well, he's covering him. Well, I'll just throw underneath to the tight end. If it was man coverage, we would not see anybody else in this area of the field for Reggie Wayne. So he's running the curl. Even if that defender's not playing off, okay, we're still going to be able to hit it underneath. So let's take a look at it again. This time, and again, now this time, oh, so he makes a great play on the ball. But as you can see, well, actually, you know what? I will show the replay. Even though it's incomplete, who cares? So we got an angle route that's open, and we've got a drag that's open. Like, he's going to pick up many, many yards. In this year's game, so many times I've seen a player catch a ball right here on a drag and hit it right up in between here, right in between both players, pick up a good 10 to 15 yards. I've seen that a lot. So now let's change the play. I just hit the button called whatever defense here. So now let's see what type of coverage we have. We're going to put X on the fade route. We're just going to stare down that receiver, and we see that he's in man-to-man coverage, and that all we do is just throw a bullet pass. Now for me, what I like to do is I actually like to throw the ball before he does his curl. So he comes up right about here, I throw it. And a lot of the times I'm going to notice that our receiver is actually going to break a tackle if we throw it earlier than most people are. You know, a lot of people will wait till right about here, then they'll throw it. I'm actually liking to throw it right about here. You know what? Let's actually just do it. I'm going to go to man defense here. 2 men. Oh, okay. Almost looks the same, but whatever. 1 man deep. So we're just going to snap the ball. Now, I did kind of break a tackle. I didn't quite get the way that I wanted, but as you can see, if we throw the ball just a little bit early, we get a chance to head upfield and then kind of attack our defender rather than our defender attacking us and making us drop the ball. As you can see, before we even turn around, the ball's in our hands. We're heading upfield, attacking our opponent. If we wait for the curl and throw it, our defender is going to attack us. So honestly, this play, again, I'm telling you, Nothing is money, man. This is all about making reads, moving the chains. It's as simple as reading man or zone. You stare down B, and it's pretty much going to give you, for the majority, you know, people are going to make adjustments and stuff, of course. But it's literally going to give away the defense. Are you going to throw the curl? Are you going to throw to A or B? And if everything's covered, which, I mean, that's very rare, then we have, our pass, lead, fade. We like to leave Y in blocking just in case they're sending heat. But you can always do things like that, man. You can do anything that you want to any of these plays, you know. But I'm just going to give you the main reads that I'm looking at. And so that's play number 1 out of the single back east right. And I love that play. Now, I did forget to mention that tight end angle out of single back east right is our second audible out of our scheme. The first audible is out of red right, which is halfback slip screen. Then every other audible is out of single back east right. So tight end angle is audible number 2. And then our third audible is halfback counter weak. And the reason I love this play is just because, you know, when we come out in red right, that's going to be the play that we always come out in, or sorry, the formation we always come out in right off the bat. We're going to be throwing the screen pass, or we're going to be running the ball a lot. And then anytime we audible, for the most part, we're going to be passing out a single back east right. So our opponent's going to be ready for that a lot. At least the way that I run it, I love to set up the pass. And then every once in a while, halfback counter weak is a great run to throw there. Again, you really got to read the defense. But if you're reading it properly, halfback counter weak is a great run play, especially because not only is it great outside, but it's also a very good off-tackle play. So many times I see not only the computer, but my opponent over pursuing to the outside, and then being able to kick it back up off tackle, kind of up the middle a little bit. I've been burning people for big yards. So halfback counter weak, again, I'm not going to show you anything in practice mode because it is pointless, but it is our third audible in the scheme. Now we're going to take a look at the fourth audible of our scheme, which is again out a single back east right. And when I told you at the beginning of the video that this scheme was extremely simple, extremely basic with no money plays, I was not lying. Our next play that we're going to look at is called slant slot flat. And the reason I love this play is really just because of one route, which is the tight end, the A receiver, running the flat route. This is going to get open versus a large majority of man defenses, zone defenses. It's just a really great route. Now, as you can see, we are a little bit more to the left side of the field because I'm not going to lie, I do like to run this when I am on the left side of the field, but not always. It's just in practice mode for whatever reason. Again, I don't know, I just hate practice mode so much. He just seems to go out of bounds a lot more than in game. You're going to see again in the footage. The footage is the proof. You know, it's going to show all these things that I'm talking about that don't work in practice mode. You'll see me do it in game, so I'm backing it up with actual footage. So, you know, I will run it when I'm on the left side of the field, but the reason I love this play is just that A route. It's going to get open versus a lot. So aside from that route, let's think logically here. So pretty much most of the time we're under center, so I'm going to want to block my running back. If they stop blitzing, you know, that's when I'm going to start sending them out and doing all sorts of different things. But I'm going to block them. But let's think about routes, not only that are good routes, but routes that are going to beat man or zone coverage. So our first read is A. Now let's say that he's covered. We have to think in the process of not just doing routes that we like, but doing routes that beat certain coverages. So let's say, okay, I'd like to have a man beater out there. Well, let's put X on a curl. Okay, now I want a zone beater out there in case my A target is covered. Okay, so let's put RB on a drag. Okay, so now I actually need something downfield in case everything else fails, or maybe it's a broken coverage. So now we put B on a fade route. Or maybe we put B on a slant, or maybe we put RB on a curl, and maybe we put X on a drag. You know, it's all just this sort of thing that you really have to be paying attention to. It can really turn some of the most basic plays. You know, we take a play like this, we like one route, and all we got to do is just do a couple things, and now we've got a great play right there. Block the running back, we're good to go. But But there are other things to consider as well. You know, a lot of people have been asking me questions such as, you know, read progression and what you need to do. What are the best things to do when it comes to, you know, progression reads and things like that. So let's say we're going to look at A first, then we'll put RB on a drag, and then we put B. So we're going to look at A, then we're going to look at B, then we're going to look at RB, and our man beater, which we've thought in our head, which makes sense, X is going to be our last read. Well, that actually doesn't make sense, and I'll tell you why. Because by the time we get to X on a curl route, the chances are the defender is going to be clamping down on that route so much that it's going to be an interception. So if X was our second read, or maybe our third read, depending on how fast those reads are, maybe we can get away with it. But in this situation here, to go from A to B to RB, then to X just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. So let's make smart adjustments. Again, that's what this scheme is all about, taking a play and making smart adjustments. So what would be the best thing that we could do? Think about it, and then I'm going to do it. Okay, so now that you thought about it, what I would do is put RB on a curl and X on a drag. Now we can look at A. Then we can quickly look at B. If that safety bites down, we know we're past leading that fade route. Again, what we're going to do is we're probably going to motion one snap this fade route, because we always want to do that for the most part, except when we're not running a fade. We're always going to want to motion snap this fade route. So we're going to look at A, then we're going to look at B, then we're going to look at RB, which is the curl, which if it's man-to-man defense, or if it's you know, can get through a zone, it's going to be open by the time it's part of our read. Then X, because it's going from one side of the field all the way to the other, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Because that's our last read. It's on the opposite side of the field, near all the clutter that we have, and it just makes sense that by the time we're done those reads, you know, it's going to take time for him to get across the field, especially if he gets bumped at the line of scrimmage. So again, you're just going to take a basic play like this and just be smart about it and try to, you know, set up your routes that just make sense, that are going to give you the best chance to make a play if everything breaks down. Because you're going to play guys, man, they're going to do, put this guy in a purple, put this guy in a yellow, and then their user, they're just going to cover like two guys themselves. So then you're screwed. So you really need to sometimes just drop back, roll out, and just wait for that open receiver. So ideally, this would make a lot of sense to me. Another thing that could make sense, to be quite honest, is this. You could have the fade on the opposite side as your last read, and the curl as your second read, with the drag as your third read. So again, I hope this is making sense to, especially, you know, I know a lot of the great players out there know this stuff already, and I'm going on and on about this, but, you know, there's players out there, man, they don't know this stuff, they don't think about it, and they need to know, and they want to get better. So suck it up, and that's why I'm going to talk a lot and explain things. So there you go. Now, I don't even know, I've honestly talked so much, I don't even know if I snapped the ball yet. That is terrible. But I'm just going to show you, first of all, the defense. So the defense is lined up pretty good against this Fleener here. There's really no reason for us to think that that man-to-man couldn't cover Fleener, you know, reasonably good. But this route is just so good. It's just when you snap the ball, he just gets outside so quick, especially if you have a fast player. And again, it's going to be even better in-game. For whatever reason, in practice mode, he just loves to just run all the way to the sideline. But do you see this little jump that we get right there? And even with, depending on whatever route we have our tight end on, see how he almost interferes? Now, I'm not saying that you need to specifically put a route that's going to interfere with that guy. You could. But our tight end just gets a really good jump on this linebacker. And we get, you know, I mean, look at all the space we got. Really, if we catch the ball right here when we should, maybe if we pass lead up, then we're just going to be able to head upfield. And you'll see again in the gameplay footage, I'm going to be hitting this guy, moving the chains at a regular pace. So, slant slots flat is our fourth audible of the scheme. A basic play that you can not only just run that one route And literally, maybe you want to quick snap the guy. You think that he's not going to change his defense, and you don't have time to set up the other hot routes when you're running hurry up. I mean, you should, but let's just say that you don't. Just snap the ball, throw the ball to that guy. But you should always be, as soon as you hit that hurry up button, you should know what you're audibling to, first of all. And then you should be on those buttons. Go click, 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 and setting up all your hot routes. Get in practice mode. You don't even need to practice by snapping the ball. Or go into play now and run hurry up and just practice setting up all your hot routes and all your reads so that by the time your guys get to the line of scrimmage, you've literally got every coverage in the game accounted for with your drags, your curls, the flat route, the fade route, and everything like that, okay? So for all you guys out there that aren't used to it, get into practice mode, get into play now, work it out. I promise you, if you put in the time, you'll dominate with this scheme. So now we're going to take a look at the fifth and final audible for this entire scheme. Again, our fourth audible out of single back east right. And the play is called double drags. Now, just by looking at it, I'm sure you already know why it is that I'm making this my audible. And yes, of course, it's because of that slant out that the RB receiver is running. Really hard to come by this year. You can't manually do it. It's in a few playbooks. You'll find it here and there. But I found it here, and it's definitely something I love to take advantage of. It's not quite as glitchy as in years past, but it's still extremely effective. And I just used the same concept as I did in slant, slot, flat. Basically, the one route, which is the flat route, and then make all of your adjustments, man beater, zone beater, you know, whatever. Think about your reads, get into play now games, and just figure out mentally how you're going to set up your plays based on what you like. Because I'm going to show you the routes and things that I like, and I'm going to show you how to piece it together. But everyone does have their own favorite type of routes, things like that. So, you know, use maybe a few ideas that I've given you, but you can, if you like streaks, hey, if that's what does you good, if you throw streaks well and you're able to complete streaks instead of fades, by all means, throw in a streak instead of a fade, or do this here and do that there, and just, you know, make it something that's a little more comfortable for yourself. So I'm not going to show you anything again in practice mode for the RB. It's self-explanatory. It's a slant out. It's money. It's great. Everyone loves them. The one thing that I am going to show you, though, is to not forget also about the fact that tight ends are unbumpable, and we do have two on the same side. So one thing that I love to do here is, you know, whatever routes we're going to do, it doesn't really matter. But we want to hit the tight end on a nice little quick pass. He can't be bumped, so we're able to get him either on a quick pass or let him drop back into coverage. Now let's see here. Now he ends up dropping the ball, no big deal. But as you can see, unbumpable, so we just throw him a nice quick pass as everyone's backing up. And that's man coverage, by the way, and they're still backing up. We throw him the pass. Now, even if we only gain 3 yards, which is the case here if he hangs onto the ball, we pick up, oh, okay, yeah, he did drop the ball. We pick up 3, maybe 4 yards, but if it's zone coverage and we're getting a quick pass, he's unbumpable. Who knows how many yards we're going to get. Plus, maybe they're blitzing, this, that, and the other thing. So I love zig routes out of the backfield. It's basically the slant out, which was the slant out, you know, last year. Everyone's using this. It's no surprise. It's nothing monumental, but I just wanted to remind you to also throw this in now and then. You're not going to see anything in the gameplay footage regarding this route because, you know, everyone's pretty much aware of it. It's nothing big, but just don't forget about it because it is something that you're going to be able to use in the scheme. So that's pretty much everything for now. That is the entire scheme. What I'm going to do is I am going to come back here in 1 second, and I'm going to go over some other plays throughout this entire playbook that you can use as your first play. We're going to keep all of the audibles the same, but as the game goes on, or maybe we're playing opponents that are getting a little familiar with your scheme, maybe your opponent's doing a good job of kind of catching on to what you're doing a little bit. So I'm going to show you some plays that are great for mixing it up, plays that you're going to come out in this play and you're going to do some audibling and things like that. So I'll see you back here in 1 second. Okay, so now we're going to go over other plays in the playbook that are going to fit really nice with the scheme that we're running. Now, I'm the kind of guy where when I run a scheme, I like everything to kind of be out of the same formation. I don't like to go from shotgun to this and that and have like 4 audibles out of 4 different formations. And the reason I don't like that is because, again, I like to play mind games with my opponent. That's my biggest strength. And if I'm in split close, shotgun split close, and then I audible down to single back, and if I quick snap them, I mean, they're going to know what I'm doing for the most part. And I don't like my opponent knowing. I like to be able to audible to different plays out of the formation, run hurry up, and they don't know what play I audible to. It's the same formation, it's the same look, and I just want to keep them off balance. So that's why there's plays in this playbook that are more effective than what I've shown you. But based on the scheme and the style that I like to run and keep my opponent off balance, that's why I've showed you what I've showed you. So let's go over a few things. Single back east right. Number 1 is slant slot flat is in our quick audibles. So really quickly, the reason that I don't like to have that just as a quick audible, and I like to have it as an audible, is because when I'm running my hurry up, I like to be able to throw that flat route extremely quick. As soon as my guys get to the line, snap, boom, throw to the A route. Love the flat route. If I have to take the time to get to the line, then go to my formation audible for that particular route, I don't like to do it. I want to throw that as quick as possible, so that's why it's an audible. The other thing is Y cross. That is also a formation audible, and I do love the play. I love to put B on a drag, and that's it. All we do is pass lead either RB or A, and then if both of those guys are covered, then we're just going to look for both drags running across the field. So I love that. And also we're going to look at a play out of the formation single back solo, which is essentially just single back ace. Now the play we're going to look at is curl flat. So if you haven't seen it already, I did a curl flat concept video out of 5 wide receiver Patriot out of the New England Patriots playbook a couple months ago. If you can't find it, there's been a lot of people that have been duplicating that concept throughout YouTube. It's very, very strong out of a lot of different formations. So definitely make sure you check out a video on that, on how it's done. But what I like to do, especially in my league games, is, people are catching on to my curl flat concept because I've been using it essentially since the game came out. So I'll actually keep the concept on one side of the field and change it up on the other. So because I like to make my first reads most of the time on the right side, I'll keep it on the right side of the field and change it up on the left. So I'll put X on a fade route, I'll put Y on a zig route, Y on a drag route, and I'll put RB on like a streak. So if it's zone, I'll look for A. If it's man, I'll look for B. Otherwise, if it's a blitz, I'll hit RB up the middle of the field on a pass lead either inside or outside, or just look to one of the other routes that I changed up on the left side of the field. So again, it's just giving me more options, because essentially I feel, for the most part, is if the curl flat concept is going to work on one side of the field, then it's going to work on the other. So I might as well change it up on one side if it's already, if it's going to work on one side, fine, I'll throw there. But if it's not going to work on one side, chances are it's not going to work on the other. So that's why I'm now liking to mix it up, especially because people know what it is I'm doing. The other thing that you can do, and this is something I do out of shotgun ace out of the New England Patriot playbook, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, sometimes I like to put 3 or 4 guys on fades. So literally, X on a fade, Y on a fade, A on a fade, and B on a fade. Sounds crazy, but it's extremely effective. I mean, to be able to cover 4 different pass leads while you're blocking your running back. So if you're blocking your running back, essentially if they're not doing like a nano or a DT blitz or something like that, they're going to have to send like 7 guys. I mean, blocking your running back literally stops most regular blitzes in the game. So putting out 4 fades like that, pass leading, you're going to find a hole. But you're also going to run into guys that are extremely effective, great players, just great players that have lapped stuff up. They know how to stop fades. They know how to stop streaks, pass leading streaks and things like that, because they're aware that things like that are unstoppable. If you just play an average player that doesn't know what he's doing, or a good player that doesn't know what he's doing or how to stop that particular thing, I mean, go 4 fades all day long and just pass lead and just laugh every time you score. That's pretty much all you got to do. So now let's go to single back west right. So if you haven't noticed, these two formations are almost identical. So if you're running a hurry-up offense, really, they're going to have no idea what formation you're in unless they're like insanely good at paying attention to what's going on during a hurry-up offense. Now, so let me just explain. There are some plays in single back west-right that are better than single back east-right. But the reason that I didn't put them in the scheme is because, I don't know, I just feel like if you kind of mix it up where you're running it all the time, like if you're putting in west-right in with your east-right a large majority of the time, they will notice a difference. It will become noticeable then. And there's people out there, literally, they'll have 5 audibles, and they're going to be all from different formations. Like one's a shotgun split close, the other one's single back ace, the other one's strong close, and it's just like, that doesn't even make sense. Okay, there could be great plays out of those formations. You want to be able to access those plays whenever you want. But, I mean, if you're playing against someone good that knows what you're doing and knows what you're going to call, if you audible down and you quick snap, your immediate thought is, okay, well, he's doing that audible, that play. Unless he gets to the line and then starts messing around and doing audibles. But, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't have that get in your opponent's head type atmosphere to your scheme. It just doesn't. So that's why everything I'm doing is out of 2 formations, red-right and single-back east-right. Even though west-right does have a play that I really like, which is halfback zone. This is the one play that I think is great to come out in. As I mentioned, we're going to come out in red-right, and a lot of the times, even though we're going to call halfback draw, as soon as we call our play, we're literally going to quickly audible to something out of single back east right. So what I'm going to do here is, let's say I call halfback zone. I'm going to quickly audible to, say, halfback counter. So as soon as I do that, I get to the line, I snap the ball, and I run the ball. Then I call hurry up. So now they're going to assume, because I've been calling the halfback draw the large majority of the time, that if I'm going to single back east right, the only run play that I'm going to do is to the left. It's going to be the halfback counter unless I flip it. But if I quick snap it, there's not going to be any flipping. It's not going to give them that little tap on the side to let them know that I'm running it now to the right side. So every once in a while, I'll just call west right, come out, audible to something else, audible to the counter, then do the hurry up offense, and then don't even change my play because this was my original play, and then go back to halfback zone. So I'm going to take a little break here, and then I'm going to come back with explaining a couple other plays. Now we're going to take a look at a play that I absolutely love out of single back trips right, which is essentially single back wide trips. And again, if you followed me last year, you will have seen my video out of single back wide trips, wide receiver screen. This play last year was absolutely deadly, probably my favorite screen in the entire game. All we want to do is put Y on a flat route to the right and B on either a streak or a slant route. Now, what I suggest if you're going to run this is, if you're going to be someone that's going to be calling a lot of screen passes throughout the games out of different formations, this isn't going to work. When you're throwing lots of screens, out of all different formations other than red-right, people are going to expect screens. So what I want you to do is I want you to stay true to the scheme that we're running. I don't want you to veer off too much into these other formations unless you feel like you really need to kind of get into your opponent's head a little bit. So if you're the kind of person that's staying away from screen passes, get into this formation, especially in the fourth quarter, and run it. And just the other day, I was up 7, started the fourth quarter, ran this play, got a 97-yard touchdown to Maurice Jones-Drew, and it was absolutely money. Love this play. Not quite as good as last year, but still money. Okay, and here's just the final 4 plays that we're going to use outside of our scheme. And the first one is out of red-right twins, and the play is called Smash Swing. And again, I love this play mainly just because of the one route. I love to pass lead, and that Y route out of the backfield, honestly, is just money pass leading inside. Not to mention the fact that we got a tight end corner route, we got a quick hitter curl, and then we've got another corner route run by the B receiver. So probably not needing to change too much out of that play. Maybe block RB, Love, just pass leading to the Y route. I just love it. Absolute money. Then we're going to look at brown right, and the play is called halfback seam. Again, mainly because of the 2 routes out of the backfield, pass leading to the inside again on that what looks to be a backfield fade. It's just for whatever reason, whether you put your running back on a streak out of the backfield or whatever, it just doesn't compare to that particular route. Even if they look the same at the snap, just pass leading inside, or you don't even need to pass lead a lot of the times. If it's zone coverage, that route is going to look for the ball immediately. So you're just going to need to press Y and catch the ball. Then we've got blue close twins, and the play we're going to look at here is called Texas, better known as wide receiver out of strong close. I love this play out of strong close, even the past couple years. As you can see, it's almost identical. The only difference is that the running back out of the backfield is running an angle route, which makes this play even better. Out of strong close, it's just a flat route, so you can't hot route to an angle route. So if you've used that play the way that I have, love this way better than the strong close version. And then finally, the last play that we're going to use just to kind of get away from our scheme to keep things fresh and everything like that is a play for short yardage situations, and it's called halfback inside out of blue right. Now, for some of you that may have played Madden 08, there was a play in Madden 08 out of single back big called halfback slam. And the reason that play was so great was because the handoff was extremely quick. Like literally, you would snap the ball and boom, you'd be hitting the hole already. It was well known as the best run play in the entire game, especially with all the formation shifts that you could do. I mean, you could come out in single back big and, formation shift to a spread offense and then run halfback slam. And it was just ridiculous. It was nighty-night. Well, I've actually found a very similar play in blue right, and this is a play that, again, that I love to use in short yardage situations. You really need to keep it, keep your opponent on their toes. I wouldn't, if you come out in a short yardage situation in the first quarter, just stick to what it is you're doing. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But late in the game, this is the play that I love to go to when I know that I really need that first down. If it's in the fourth quarter, I'm in a tough game, this is the play that I'm going to go to. So I make sure that I don't come out in this formation and run this play on short yardage at any other point other than when I really need it in the fourth quarter. So let's just show you how it works. Now, as you can see, it takes a look like we're going to go off tackle, but we snap the ball and we just boom right upfield. No matter whether they tackle us in practice mode or not here, just take a look at how quick that handoff is. We're going to pick up the yards that we need on short yardage a large majority of the time. And keep in mind that they've never seen this formation before, so they don't necessarily know what we're doing. And even if they do, just love that quick handoff like that. It's single back, big, halfback slam all over again. This time it's halfback inside. So keep that in mind. I hope that you really liked everything that I showed you today. I know there's a lot of you guys that are still watching this thing thinking that I'm talking too much. But you know what? I have a lot of viewers out there that need explanations. So this one's for you guys. I hope that you're able to take this by its horns and really do good with it. Like I said, just get into play now and keep playing the computer, practice it up. There's so much stuff in this that if you use your head, honestly, you cannot be stopped.
First. That's a pass all the way. He brings it in. Coming up, second down. He drops back to throw. The quarterback throws to the right. Spins away from contact. That'll stop the play right there.
Oh, wow, another couple inches, and that would have been 6 points for the offense, but he just falls short.
Play number 6 coming up on this drive. The give to the running back. And he's in for the touchdown. There's the
time by the defense, and a job well done.
They hand it off to the running back. He's in the clear.
Colts are in what he sees on the defensive side, so he is changing the play to the receivers by giving him hand signals.
Makes the catch. And that's a touchdown.
Situation now for the offense.
Throwing out to his left. That's it.
We see all these wonderful things, but when it comes down to it, who can win the war up front? And you win the war by running the football. Great job by the offensive line that time.
That's a touchdown. Well, double tight end formation. Three-step drop. Has the reception all alone. Breaks free. He is tackled at the 4. The wide receiver shifting around in motion. Working that left side. With two hands, he has it. He's got some daylight. Touchdown. It's handed to the running back. He's got a little bit of daylight here. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. Retreating. 3rd and 13. Working that left side. Makes the catch. This offense can't be stopped. Back to the air here on 1st down. Looking for a receiver on the left side here. That'll stop the play right there.
This is what drives Coach.
D-line pinching together here. He'll fire it out to the left. Zeroed in on that one. 6 in the books.
Defensive line now shifting to a spread look. They're going to try to pressure the quarterback on this play.
Reaches out and snatches it. And he's tackled at the 30. The wide receiver shifting around in motion. 3rd and 8. The reception easy, wide open. That's a
But, you know, if he gets back out there, maybe he can change things around.
1st and 10. Makes the catch in open space. Breaks free. And they tackle him there at the 30. That big gainer on the ground gives them now a 1st down. Trying to work the middle of the field. Ball's out.
There's always a rule on the
formation. Dropping back 3. Eyeing that left side. The pass had to be perfect. Defense has him wrapped up.
Well, it's another first.
For the 9th play of the drive. He takes it on the counter. Another touchdown to a 1st down. Steps back to throw. Looks to his left. On the money. Good yardage picked up on that call.
Getting that first.
They bring in an extra defensive back. We'll run it. Here's the handoff. And he's tackled.
They go, and you counter it, and that's why it works to perfection.
Looking to the right side and throwing. He'll be brought down, but not before picking up. They hand it off to him again. Gains 17.
Always hard to pick up that.
Dropping back 3. No one in sight. Has the grab. And he's knocked out of bounds. It's 1st down as they head to the line. Looking to go up top again on 1st down. They pick up the 1st down with that reception. 15 here after the sack. Looking for an open receiver on the right. Devin Winslow with the catch. 1st down. Now in rhythm, the quarterback drops back to throw once more. Nice tackle.
Well, I guess the best thing to say there.
That one. So 2nd down here. Halfback counter. They go to the right side. There's the tackle, but still, it's enough for them. Dropping back to throw. He'll throw it over the middle. Sidney Rice with the reception. What are they doing here? This defensively shifts at the last moment. 2nd down and 7. He gets it again on this drive. Another touchdown.
The signals. The D-line is all shifting down inside. They're expecting a run right up the middle.
Makes the reception.
Good job by the defense.
Coming together now as they anticipate a run up the middle. The give to the running back. Gains 12.
You see a long run like
It's time to back it up.
The defensive line now spreading out. I think they want to try to pressure the quarterback.
Makes the catch in the open field.
Nice catch by the...
Dropping back 3. He brings it in here, and he's got the first.
Good job by the quarterback side, so he is changing the play to the receivers by giving him hand signals.
It's a touchdown.
So he is changing the play to the receivers by giving him hand signals.
Patriots get a first down.
What is doing? They're all pinching down inside. They're expecting a run.
And he wants to throw it across the middle. In on the stop.
Well, the quarterback...
Second down and 2. Here's the handoff to Maurice Jones-Drew. And he is tackled. Second down, 3 to go. Here's the handoff, and they'll run it. He's stacked up at that point. It's now second down and 2. They'll go Brown. Breaks free. He is tackled at the play of the drive. Staying with the passing game on first down. And he hauls it in. Good piece of tackling. First down now. Looking for a receiver on the left side here. Touchdown. Ready to pounce on the snap. He drops back to throw. Right where it had to be.
Well, this man-to-man coverage, bad.
Gets to the line for the 7th play of the drive. It's a throw all the way. Gains 12. Oh. Second down and 5. Running back gets it on the handoff. Third down and 10. Trying to work that left side.
Everybody to the ground. The running back's got to do it himself sometimes. Nice job there by the running back. And you have
3-step drop. Squeezes it into coverage. And he's going to be tackled.
Quarterback 2.
Second and 11. Looking across the middle. Makes the kick. 6 in the books.
When you're in 2, third and 3, they don't even think about run because they're not tough enough to get it done. They have to throw it. Nice advantage of, look at the hand signals he's given to the receiver outside.
No one in sight. Has the red line. He drops back to throw. Leaps up high and comes down.
Defensive side, so he is changing the play to the receivers by giving him hand signals. When you see
second down and 9. Looking to the right side and throwing. Touchdown. That'll go.
Play to the receivers by giving him hand signals.
He's looking to the right here on this throw.
Lane the quarterback has, that's why he gets the completion down the field.
Handoff. Gains 12.
The hand signals he's given to the receiver outside.
And he wants to throw it across the middle. And staying with the running game on first down. That's a gain of 8. For again on second down. It's handed to the running back. He'll be